Linear functions form a special class of functions, and as the name indicates, linear just means that they are lines. In other terms, they're straight lines, and these lines could be pointing up or down, or vertical or horizontal. Now, linear functions have a special look to them. The equations always look like this. F of x is equal to mx plus b, where m and b are some random numbers, and x is the variable that we call the independent variable. So m represents the slope of the line. So m right there is the slope, which is a number that indicates how steep the line is. And b, the second number in the list, is a number that indicates where the line crosses the y-axis. We call that the y-intercept. Now m can be calculated using the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the slope if you're given 2 points. And you're probably familiar with this formula. And this formula is sometimes called the rise over the run. So when do we use this formula? We use this formula if the question is to find the slope and we're given only 2 points that belong on the line. There are some other pieces of information that are useful written down over here, so I would recommend looking at those. For example, lines with positive slopes rise up when we're going from left to the right. So for example, over here, if I put my little stick figure guy on the left, he's going to be going uphill, so we say that that line has a positive slope. Whereas this line over on this side has a negative slope. How do I know that? If I put my stick figure always on the left, then my stick figure is going to be going downhill as it travels on the line, and so therefore this line is going to have a negative slope. So if you're trying to figure out whether the line has a positive slope or a negative slope, always start from the left and look at the direction of the line. So trace the line going from left to right. And if the line goes down, that means it's going to have a negative slope. If the line points up, then it's going to have a positive slope. There are lines with zero slope. The lines with zero slopes are called horizontal lines. They don't go up or down, basically. So it's a straight, flat, horizontal line. And finally, we say that lines have undefined slopes when those lines are vertical lines. So a vertical line has an undefined slope, meaning there's not even a number to describe how steep this line is. So one of the things we have to do in this class is graph the lines. And so in example number 25, we are going to look at how to graph a line given a point and a slope. So this point is going to be on the line, and the slope is a number that indicates how steep the line is. So in this particular example, the point that we're given is the point -3, 2. We are going to call this the start point. So this is where I begin when I start to do my graph point. So this is the start where the y is 2 and the x is -3. So once I figure out where the start point is, what I have to do next is look at the slope. And in this case, the slope is -3 divided by 4. First challenge is to determine where you want your negative sign to be. It's not convenient to have it in front of the fraction. So sometimes it's more convenient to have the negative together with the numerator. Sometimes it's better to have it on the denominator. Regardless of what you decide though, it will be the same outcome. It will be the same solution at the end. In my case, I like to put the minus always with the numerator. And keep in mind that the slope represents the rise divided by the run. So in other terms, in this problem, the rise is -3 steps and the run is 4 steps. Now, what does it mean to say rise and run? A rise is how many steps I have to go up or down from the start point. In this case, the rise is -3. So I have to go down 3 steps. So if I go 1, 2, 3 steps, that puts me over here. So I'm going to pause for a moment and look at the run. How much is the run in this problem? The run is 4. Again, the run could be positive or negative. If the run is positive, I have to move in the positive direction on the x-axis. And the positive direction is to the right. So I'm going to go from that spot 4 times to the right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. and this is the final point where I get to. So connecting those two dots together gets me the graph of the line, basically. Now notice that the same graph would have been true if I had decided to put the negative instead of in front of the fraction on the denominator. So for example, if I had decided to go 3 divided by negative 4. So in this case, the rise would still be 3 and the run would be negative 4. So let's see, starting at the original point, if I rise 3 steps, that means I'm going to go up 3 steps. So 1, 2, and 3. However, this time the run is negative 4. So from that spot, I have to run 4 times backwards. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's pretty much right on the line. So that means my line is correct. So again, you don't have to do both. You just have to do one of the two to decide what the line looks like.